Once a Spur, always a Spur. But should they be a Spur again? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. A few of you recently talked about some guys that are going to be free agents that were former Spurs, and should we bring them back? Shout out to SSPN. Apparently they covered this on one of their podcasts, and this kind of prompted you guys to mention it here, which is prompting this video. So let's just jump into it. This is going to be an original video, no pounding the rock or air Alamo. Let's talk about the guys that maybe the Spurs could bring back, and any of them you'd want back, and my 2 cents on each of these players as well. Up first in alphabetical order, Dominic Barlow. The Atlanta Hawks have declined the team option, making him an unrestricted free agent. Dom will be 22 years old this year. 6'8" forward that played 2 years with the Spurs. I think I would bring him back if it was on a smaller contract. Because according to you guys, I'm not an expert with the MLEs and all this CBA stuff, but it appears we have $5 million for one player and $2 million for another player, league minimum essentially. If we can bring him back on a small contract, I'm not opposed to it. Could possibly still develop him. He's young. And of course, all this is predicated on that we don't sign anybody else and we have the 2 open roster spots. So Dominic Barlow, sure. This is one I did not realize was a free agent. I also did not realize he was not even the NBA anymore, Spurs fans. Davis Bertans, the Latvian Laser. He's playing in Dubai. I had no idea. Apparently his contract allows him an out if he wants to return to the NBA. I don't see him coming back if he's playing over there. It's a multi-year contract from what I've read, so you never know. Would be a three-point sniper for us, but probably not coming back. And one player next that I was thinking, you know what, maybe I would want him back. He was fun to watch. Well, forget about it. You guys have mentioned Drew Eubanks. He's going to the Kings on a 1-year deal. Was with the Clippers, waived, was available. Spurs obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously. He's gone. So if you wanted Drew Eubanks, now he's gone. All right. I kind of like this next one. With Clint Capella on board at center, the Houston Rockets are set to waive Jacques Landale. They're trying to get under the first apron. Having 4 centers doesn't make sense, so all signs are looking to him being waived. I don't believe it's officially been waived yet from what I saw online. But Jacques Landale, if he's waived, be 30 this season, 6'11", so he brings some size. Played 1 year with our Spurs. He was making $8 million a year. So I don't know if the contract works because, as I said, it looks like we can only offer $5 million. But this is the player actually I would be interested in bringing back. Jacques Landale, sure. I honestly don't think it's likely because I don't think the salary is going to match up there. You're probably going to want a similar salary to what he has now. You got to think he'd want some minutes too. Would there be room for him for minutes-wise at the Spurs? Maybe, maybe not. He does have some stretch 5 ability, although what he did overseas hasn't quite translated over here. I think he shot the 3 well over there. That was his thing coming to the Spurs, wasn't he, when he's like a 26-year-old rookie? I would be up for Jacques Landale. I just don't think it's going to happen, but this would get the thumbs up from TSR. Trey Lyles, 30 years old, 6'9" forward, played 2 years with our Spurs. And I don't know if I've ever seen a player get more beat up in the live streams than Trey Lyles. You guys have been on the channel. We've seen, the trade Kelvin, trade Devin, trade Jeremy. But, man, Trey Lyles used to get obliterated in the live streams, constantly called Trash Lyles, Trash Can Lyles, Trash Trey. Man, he just undeservedly so. Sure, he had some rocky moments with the Spurs, but he's actually a decent three-point shooter, inconsistent throughout his career. That being said, no, I don't know if I can handle the live. Just my own personal, I don't know if I can handle the live stream beatdown he would get. And the minutes might not be there either. Doug McDermott is available. Played, 2.5 years with our Spurs? Be 33 this season. A 6'6" forward that is still a sniper, and we do need 3-point shooting. He shot 44%, granted limited opportunities, with the Kings last season. What's with all the Kings being involved with the Spurs? With the Kings last season, I would absolutely bring Doug McDermott back for the right price. Give some 3-point shooting off the bench, something we desperately need. He knows the system. He knows some of the guys. Yeah, I'm all in on Doug. That gets a double thumbs up from TSR. Last but not least, Patty Mills. He will be 37 years old this season, Spurs fans. 6'2", guard. Played 10 years with the Spurs and an NBA champion with our Spurs. I'm sure you're all aware of that. This would be a nostalgia move because I don't see him getting a lot of minutes, if any at all. He would take up the 15th roster spot and I would assume and hope retire as a Spur. He was making the league minimum with the Clippers, so I don't see why we couldn't offer him the same thing to be the 15th roster spot. And this would be a good guy to have on the bench. That would give us another vet, but also 3 former NBA champions now. Patty, Harrison Barnes, and Luke Cornett. We'd have vets with playoff and championship experience, something this team hasn't had in some time. I mean, Harrison was there last year, but this much playoff experience and championship experience we have not had in quite some time. So bringing back Patty Mills, yeah, and then maybe if he retires after this year, he transitions into some kind of coach of the Spurs, which I certainly would be all for. So this also gets a thumbs up from old TSR. That's all the free agents I have to go over. If I had to pick which 2, if we don't get anybody else in free agency, it's like, all right, we end up bringing 2 former Spurs back. Which 2 would I take or want, if you will, for the team? Jacques Landale first, because the team needs size still. Our centers, and I know some of you will say TSR, Wemby's not a center, but as it stands right now, Wemby is our starting center. Unless they can make Luke and Wemby starting work, then that could be interesting. But for the time being, it appears Luke will be the backup, Wemby will be the starting center. That gives us Wemby, Luke, and everybody else is 6'9" or less. So bringing a big like Landale that's 6'11", in case there's an injury, I'm all in on that. As far as the second guy, it's a toss-up between Patty and Doug. Doug might actually see a little bit minutes because he still is a 3-point sniper, but Patty would certainly be the nostalgia move and be set to possibly join the Spurs in a different role in the future if he so wished. As far as other free agents out there, Kachin Cassett, DeAndre Ayton's now a Laker. Not a surprise. His salary is going to be split between the buyout from Portland and I don't even see what LA's going to make. I think that's a good move for the Lakers. Their defense is probably going to be a disaster at times. Ayton, not known for putting in effort all the time. You got Luka, who is a traffic cone, and LeBron, who now north of 40. The defensive effort's not there either. So I think the Lakers are going to score a lot of points. They can give up a lot of points too. They should be fun to watch if you throw on a Lakers game. As far as our Spurs, I'll stay on top of the news if they do anything with these last 2 roster spots. I don't see any rumors out there right now. I did see, I'll bring it up real quick. There was a blip on the radar, LeBron to the Spurs. No. Sports Illustrated did an article, trade, I think it was Devin, Keldon, Jeremy, a couple first-round picks, and we were getting another player back from probably Bronny. Bronny and LeBron. I was like, so sure, those might be guys that some of you don't want, but to just completely destroy our depth to bring in a player that's north of 40 with a 15, no. Giannis as well, I can't see that happening. He might not be happy with the Dame situation, but I think that's also no. But if it happens, I'll be on it right away. Anyway, Spurs fans, drop a comment down below. One of these guys, would you want 1 back? Would you want 2 back? Would you want none back? Let me know in the comments. Hit the subscribe, support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. I thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go.